Hi friends, welcome to Newspaper Simplified. In today's session, we are going to cover one important topic, that is urbanization. In today's The Hindu newspaper, there was news related to Ease of Living Index. Bengaluru, Shimla, most livable city. Title of that news was Bengaluru, Shimla, most livable cities. And this report, this index was released by Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry. So here Ease of Living Index 2020, and in this Bengaluru, Pune and Ahmedabad, these were the best cities in million plus category. Population more than 1 million, and in this top 10 cities were from South and West India. Top 10 cities from South and West India. And when we talk about less than million category, population less than million, in this case Shimla ranked first. Shimla ranked first. And overall 111 cities participated in this exercise. So what is this Ease of Living Index? If we see the definition, Ease of Living Index, it is an assessment tool that evaluates the quality of life and the impact of various initiatives for urban development. So the evaluation tool is nothing but Ease of Living Index. In case of 2020 edition, there was inclusion of citizen perception survey with weightage of 30% in that particular exercise. So citizen perception survey was included in this 2020 edition of Ease of Living Index. There are three pillars of Ease of Living Index. There are three pillars. First pillar is quality of life, second is economic ability, and third is sustainability. So these are three pillars of Ease of Living Index, and this index is basically framed based on 13 indicators. So 13 various indicators which are very much important for urban development. So first is education, second is health, third is housing and shelter, fourth one wash and solid waste management. Wash means water, sanitation and hygiene. Then mobility, safety and security, recreation, level of economic development, economic opportunities, environment, green spaces and building, energy consumption and city resilience. So these are various categories based on which this index is framed. Now in this context, this was news in The Hindu. Urbanization, this is a topic related to today's session, and in this session we will cover one important report from Ministry of Finance. The title of report was Urban Issues, Reforms and Way Forward in India. This was released by Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance. First of all, they started this report by saying that India has to improve its urban areas to achieve objectives of economic development. India need to improve urban areas, and in this context the government has launched a reform linked urban investment program called as JNNURM. That is nothing but Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission. So by this report, first line of this report was India has to improve its urban areas to achieve the objectives of economic development. So urban area and economic development, they are creating a relation between these two. So next they are talking about the strategy then. What should be our urban strategy? So India's future urban strategy, it should focus on following things. The list they have given, like inter-government transfer with built-in incentives to improve performance. They are talking about urban local bodies. Then capacity building of urban local bodies, second one. Third one, investment on asset creation and management. Fourth one, related to transport. So integrating urban transport with land use planning. That is the fourth focus. Then fifth one, integrate various urban development and related programs at local, state and national level. So integration of programs at these three levels. Then sixth one, strengthen urban institutions, very important, strengthen urban institutions and clarify rules related to different organizations. What are the roles of different organizations that need to be clarified? Seventh one, focus on regulation, innovative financing and PPP, public-private partnership, PPP, along with climate change initiatives in urban areas. And eighth one, last one, reform-linked investment needed for different states based on level of urbanization. So investment linked with the reforms, and it will be based on the level of urbanization in any particular area. So these are some strategy points which are given in this report. Then moving forward, urban demographic trends. In this heading, they have given some important data related to urban demography. First of all, proportion of urban population has increased from 19.9% in 1971 to 27.8% in 2001. And if we talk about 2011 data, it is 31.16%. Then they are talking about the contribution of migration in this. The contribution of rural-urban migration ranges between 19 to 21% of net increase in urban population. And next they are talking about the empirical relationship between the livability index and country's GDP per capita, which was exactly given in our news also related to livability index. So they are talking generally there is strong empirical relationship globally between index of city livability and country's GDP per capita. So if we want to have long-term growth, it is only feasible if city attributes in terms of congestion, pollution and safety. Three things they have given: congestion, pollution and safety. So these city attributes need to be improved alongside the urban economic management. So alongside urban economic management, you need to improve various city attributes like this in order to have long-term growth. Then projected urban population. Under this they are saying, according to Registrar General of India, urban population is expected to increase from 286 million in 2001 to 534 million in 2026. That is about 38% of total. So based on this, we can get a clue that we need to have a proper urban management system. Moving forward, what are various institutional arrangements which are available with us related to urban management? So for municipal governance and urban service delivery, we are having various institutional arrangements. First of all, they have given 74th Constitutional Amendment Act 1993, and this provides for constitution and composition of urban local bodies. At the same time, it also talks about constitution of ward committees, reservation of seats, duration of municipalities, powers and functions of municipalities, etc. Apart from this, they are also talking about finance commission. So finance related to urban local bodies, very important, urban local bodies and their finance. After that, the second important institutional arrangement is related to state municipal laws. So Government of India, first of all they are talking about Government of India. It developed Model Municipal Law, MML, Model Municipal Law in 2003 to guide states to enact municipal legislations. And accordingly, various states have created their state municipal laws. And basic objective of this was to implement the provisions of this 74th Constitutional Amendment Act in totality. And the third important institutional arrangement, it is related to ward committees. Ward committees, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act provides for the establishment of ward committees, and it contains an enabling mechanism to form ward committee for citizen participation. 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. So these three are important institutional arrangements which are available with us. 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, state municipal laws, and third one, ward committees. Next, in this report, they have also provided some information related to urban transport. So they are saying, in order to implement the National Urban Transport Policy 2006, Ministry of Urban Development has suggested the following actions under Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission. So what are various suggestions related to transport? This can be important for mains exam because they are directly providing some suggestions which we can quote in our answers also. First of all, setting up of Unified Metropolitan Transport Authority in all million plus cities. Then second provision, setting up of dedicated urban transport fund. At city level, at the same time at state level also. Third one, preparation of comprehensive mobility plan for the urban agglomeration. Fourth one, running of modern city bus service on PPP model, modernization of bus fleet in cities. Fifth one, revising proper parking policy in terms of regulation of parking requirements through proper fees. Ban on parking at major arterial roads so that you can avoid congestion, and then encourage paid parking, and at the same time you need to have land as a resource to part finance of the urban transport projects. Next, they are talking about designating one department, very important provision, designating one department as nodal department for urban transport at state level. One dedicated department should be there. Then next one, reserving a lane for public transport or high capacity buses or high occupancy vehicles on all new roads or widened roads. So one lane should be reserved for such kind of vehicles. Then next one, promoting pedestrianization, very important word, pedestrianization and non-motorized mode of transport, for example cycle. And then launching of awareness campaign, which is very important for any particular policy. Launching of awareness campaign for encouraging individuals, families, communities to adopt green travel habits. So these are various suggestions which are related to transport. National Urban Transport Policy 2006. Now we are talking about these various kind of reforms, but the pace of these reforms is not that much. So why these reforms are slowly implemented? So what are the various reasons for this slow progress of reforms? So in this report they have given some reasons. So what are these reasons? First of all, limited understanding of reforms in cities or states, and because of that it is not effectively implemented. Then insufficient political consensus, that is also one of the reasons. There is insufficient political consensus at state and municipal levels for the reform agenda, particularly regarding private sector participation and proper pricing of services. So consensus is lacking. That is one of the reasons why these reforms are slow. Then third one, very important, preparation of electoral rules for urban local bodies. It is carried by State Election Commission. And in many states, State Election Commission prepares separate rules for local elections. Local elections and do not adopt rules which are prepared by Election Commission for state assemblies. And because of this, there may be chance that some people may be missed out from that electoral rule. Next important reason, in many states, government retain the power of delimitation of wards for urban local body elections, and this will take a time. The delimitation, this activity will take time. So in many cases, state election commissions have to delay local elections till the government complete delimitation exercise. Next important point, elections in some urban local bodies get postponed for more than 6 months due to reorganization of ward boundaries, extension of limits, etc. So elections are getting postponed. Then in most states, elected mayor does not have executive powers. That is also one of the reasons that reforms are not properly implemented. And under 12th schedule of 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, under that you are also having this 12th schedule. So it is not necessary that all the identified functions have to be transferred to urban local bodies. So some functions are not transferred to urban local bodies, and because of that the reforms at ground level are not properly implemented. Then next they have given one important case study also. So related to urban development, there is one important case study related to Indore Municipal Corporation. So resource mobilization efforts of Indore Municipal Corporation. So in this they have given some interesting case study related to Indore. First of all, in 1999-2000, the Indore Municipal Corporation embarked on modernization plan and which developed with extensive citizen participation. And related to this, some reforms in Indore. What were the reforms which were being done in Indore? First of all, reforms related to property taxes. So to reform its property taxes with average almost 50% of city's own source income. Property tax is 50% of that city's own source income. The Indore Municipal Corporation shifted to a simpler mass assessment method and introduced self-assessment of properties by taxpayers in 1997. Self-assessment of properties. Now taxpayers are creating their own database. So they are saying taxpayer provide information about their property such as location, size, age and use into a formula based program. So they are feeding into that program that calculates what they owe. So the Indore Municipal Corporation is getting benefited from this. So IMC contracted with a private firm in 2001-2002 to conduct a physical survey of properties in all wards to identify those which are unregistered properties. and simultaneously they added it to the property database. So this helped a lot in registering the properties, first of all. So the number of properties registered nearly doubled in 4 years because of this, from 1,35,000 before this survey to 2,36,000 after this survey. Revenue increased, obviously revenue also increased due to this simplified and more equitable assessment, better administration, increased coverage and billing. So efficiency also increased because of this. Apart from that, illegal water connection, related to this they are talking, it was estimated that there were approximately 80,000 illegal water connections compared to 1,20,000 legal connections. Earlier they had a survey, and by using that survey they also solved this problem. So the IMC identified legal or illegal water connection during its physical survey of properties, which earlier we have talked. So it compared its water charges and property database to identify residents that were not receiving or paying water bills. So illegal water connection, this issue was also resolved by using this survey. Then the measures described above increased the revenue from its own source from rupees 340 million in 1999 to 2000 to rupees 750 million in 2003-2004. So the revenue of that municipal corporation also increased. So this was case study of Indore, which was given in this report. Then moving forward, next important box is given in this report related to lessons for improved urban management. What are various lessons through which we can improve urban management? First of all, we should build credibility of local government. First of all, we should build credibility of local government through improved administration. Second important point, we should make initial efforts in a few critical areas that are visible and affect daily lives of more residents. So prioritizing the areas. Then third one, changes have to come from within the system and not forced by any state or national government. And that's why we talk about improving the capacity of urban local bodies, capacity building of urban local bodies. Then third one, that is the changes have to come within. Next one, demonstration effects are important and more cities will learn from few success stories. Like Indore we have talked. Then dissemination and networking of local government is crucial. You should have networks of various local government so that the good successes of every particular local government should be incorporated in each other's system. Then state and national governments may not always support the initiation of changes, but will yield only when citizen support is there. So citizen support is important. Then the final one, that is responsive administration for citizen grievances, is also essential. So grievance redressal system, that is also a crucial topic related to this urban management. So these are various lessons for improved urban management. Already in different cities we have experienced this, and from that we are getting these lessons. Then next important topic related to this urban management we are talking about, and in this case India Yearbook. India Yearbook. In this, they have given some important government schemes. In mains exam, we can quote these various government schemes. So what are various government schemes of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs? Then first one, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Housing for All. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Housing for All. Then Smart City Mission, important one. They have asked question on this also in mains exam. Then Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, Amrut. Next one related to heritage development, National Heritage City Development and Augmentation Yojana, that is Hriday Yojana. Then Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016. Then Street Vendors Protection of Livelihood and Regulation of Street Vending Act 2014, and recently there was also a scheme called Swanidhi. And then last one, National Urban Transport Policy. So these are various government initiatives related to this urban development. When we talk about global level, then there is one organization called as United Nations Habitat, UN Habitat for Better Urban Future. So their tagline is for Better Urban Future, also known as United Nations Human Settlement Program. United Nations Human Settlement Program. This was established in 1978 and it was basically outcome of first UN conference on human settlement and sustainable urban development, which is also known as Habitat 1. So there was conference called Habitat 1, and the outcome of this Habitat 1 was this UN Habitat organization. So this Habitat 1 conference was held in Vancouver, Canada in 1976. And the mandate, what is the mandate of this UN Habitat? So Habitat Agenda, the mandate is called as Habitat Agenda, which was basically adopted by UN Conference on Human Settlement, also known as Habitat 2, in Istanbul, Turkey in 1996. And basically this UN Habitat organization, it reports to United Nations General Assembly. So these are some important bits, factual bits are there, and which are very much important for your prelims examination. And apart from this UN Habitat, this is one initiative at global level. Apart from this, you are also having Sustainable Development Goals. SDG 11, which talks about sustainable cities and communities. Sustainable cities and communities. Okay. And when we are talking about this report, there are some important terminologies like urban agglomeration. So let's understand some important terminologies. First of all, census town. What do you mean by census town? So there are some criteria for classifying any census town. First criteria is minimum population should be 5,000. Second criteria, 75% male working population engaged in non-agricultural activities. And the third one, population density of at least 400 persons per square kilometer. So these three are criteria to classify any census town. Apart from this, there are some other classification for this census town. Above 5,000, there are some other classifications also. Class 1 town, population of 1 lakh and above, then we call it class 1 town. So depending on population, there is criteria. Then class 2 town, 50,000 to 99,999 population. Class 3, 20,000 to 49,999. Class 4 town, 10,000 to 19,999. And class 5 town, 5,000 to 9,999. So these are various population based criteria of towns. Class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4 and class 5. All those towns which are having population above 1 lakh, these will be called as cities. These will be called as cities. And when you talk about urban agglomeration, so these are basically such kind of developments which are happening around town. So town plus adjoining outgrowth of that particular area, collectively known as urban agglomeration. Urban agglomeration. Now apart from this, there are some other terminology like ease of living business index, ease of living index. In that there is one terminology called million plus city. Million plus city means population above 1 million, that means 10 lakh. Then metro city. Metro city, what is the meaning of this metro city? Population of 40 lakh and above, it is called as metro city. 40 lakh and above. In 74th Constitutional Amendment Act 1992, there was a definition of metropolitan area. Metropolitan area, that is nothing but area which is having population of 10 lakh and above, it will be termed as metropolitan area. Then mega city, what do you mean by mega city? All those cities which are having population of 1 crore and above, these are termed as mega cities. So these are various terminologies related to these towns and urban agglomeration. And when we talk about UPSC previous year question related to this topic, then in 2016 there was a question related to smart city mission. Question was, with a brief background of quality of urban life in India, introduce the objectives and strategy of smart city program. UPSC 2016, the question was asked for 12.5 mark. Then in UPSC 2016 also there was one question, what are smart cities? Examine their relevance for urban development in India. Relevance of smart cities for urban development in India. Will it increase rural-urban differences? Give arguments for smart villages in the light of Pura and Rurban mission. So this was also UPSC 2016 question for 12.5 marks. So these are various questions which are already asked in UPSC related to this urban management. And in syllabus also you are having direct topic GS1 urbanization. So in that context also this first news is important, and related to that this article by Ministry of Finance, this report by Ministry of Finance titled Urban Issues, Reforms and Way Forward in India, this will be helpful for your answer writing in mains exam. This is from today's session. Similar news we will cover in simplified manner in our next further sessions. Thank you.